As I was collecting research and reading a bunch of scholarly work for one of my independent projects, I came into a very interesting case study of a mushroom church. Have you ever heard of a church solely dedicated to a mushroom? Nestled deep in the pine covered hills of northern Puebla, Mexico, there's a tiny chapel that holds a truly bizarre and miraculous secret. It's called Iglesia de Honguito, the Church of the Little Mushroom. And the reason people come here isn't for grand cathedrals or towering domes, but for a petrified fungus, a mushroom that many believe bears the image of Jesus Christ himself. The church we will be talking about today is located in Chignahuapan, Puebla. And boy, is it interesting. First glance, it's easy to miss. The church is small, modest, tucked away in the quiet town of Chignahuapan, surrounded by forest and fog. From the outside, it looks like any other rural chapel. But once you step inside, your eyes are drawn immediately to the altar. There, in the center of a wooden cross, encased in glass, sits the object of veneration, a little brown mushroom petrified in stone. At first, it looks ordinary, but even if you lean in closer, you'll notice something strange. Visitors are even offered a magnifying glass to help them see it. Because etched into the cap of the mushroom are mysterious patterns. These patterns, many claim, resemble a tiny crucified Jesus Christ. As one Mexican journalism put it, a church dedicated to the worship of a mushroom. Well, kind of. This is not a hoax, it's not satire. This is a real place, and you can Google it yourself if you don't believe me. Built around a real object, and for many, this is a real miracle. But the question is this really Jesus Christ? How does the story begin? The legend begins in 1880. A humble peasant from Chignahuapan was foraging in the forest for edible mushrooms, and every day actively in the region. But that day he came across something he had never seen before. It was a large dark wood ear fungus with strange, almost divine markings. The locals said it looked like Jesus, hanging on the cross. The villagers were stunned. To them, this wasn't just a natural oddity, it was a sign from God. And so they did what devout communities often do when confronted with the miraculous. They built a chapel on the very spot where the mushroom had been found. They placed the mushroom in the heart of the altar and began to worship not the fungus itself, but the divine presence they believed had revealed itself through it. The church was first named Señor de la Salud, or Lord of our Health in English, later becoming Nuestra Señora del Sagrado Corazón de Jesus, de Jesús, or Our Lady of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. But locals still cannot call it what they want anyways. El Santuario de Honguito, the Sanctuary of the Little Mushroom. Inside the church today, the mushroom still rests in its glass case. It's been petrified over time, but the markings are still visible, if you know what you're looking for. Using the magnifying glass provided by the church, believers say you can make out several images: the crucified Christ, a sun and moon, stars, a tiny skull, the letters S-T-O, likely for Santo, and the number 80, the year the mushroom was discovered. It's hard not to be fascinated. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, there's something deeply evocative about the way the townspeople have embraced this object. According to the locals and visitors alike, people who enter the chapel out of curiosity often leave changed. One travel writer noted that even skeptics walk away feeling something, whether it's faith or wonder or just awe at the sheer unlikeliness of it all. The church even has a plaque that reads, Señor de Honguito, the Lord of the Little Mushroom. The The Mushroom Church isn't just a curiosity, it's part of the living spiritual life of Chignahuapan, located in the Ixtla Baral. I think that's how you say that. It welcomes pilgrims and tourists year-round. Entry is free, and people come to pray, leave offerings, and ask for health and blessings. Every year on July 24th, the town holds a vibrant celebration to honor the Onguito. There, music, a horse procession, masses, dancing, and plenty of food. Some say the date reflects the original day the mushroom was found. Others see it as a Thanksgiving ritual, a way to honor a miracle that continues to live in the hearts of the faithful. There's also mention of another celebration on May 3rd, a day tied to the Holy Cross and Mexican Catholicism, blending ancient tradition with a very peculiar modern relic. So what are we to make of all this? Is the mushroom truly miraculous? Or is it simply a natural oddity interpreted through the lens of deep faith? All around the world, people have seen the divine and the unexpected. Here, in Chignahuapan, the face of Christ was seen in a mushroom. Whether you see the Onguito as a sacred relic or a strange coincidence, its real power lies in what inspires devotion, tradition, curiosity, and a sense of connection to something greater. In a world that often feels sterile and mechanical, places like this remind us that mystery still exists, and sometimes it grows right out of the ground. After all, throughout the research I've been conducting, the ritual use of mushroom has predated and has existed for many hundreds of years. Before the Spanish Inquisition, archaeology shows that the mushroom use was being used, and still to this day, in places like Huautla de Jimenez, you can go up and take part in shamanic rituals consuming the psychedelic mushroom. If you ever find yourself in the hills of Puebla, take a detour to Chignahuapa, step inside the little white church with the Sacred Heart outside, and take a moment to look through that magnifying glass. You might not see the divine, but you'll definitely see something that makes you stop, wonder, and maybe even believe in miracles.